Hello and welcome to day 29 of 31 days of Craftoween, where we make an altered book Halloween junk journal. As usual, we will start with our Universal Monsters pick. We have these little capsules with monster merch. We have a keychain of the Wolf Man. Let's get him out of the plastic and see what we've got here. I never have seen like the old Wolfman movies. I would assume they're a werewolf. And a werewolf is one of the prompts that I never do use from my prompts list, but I've reached the point where the prompts list isn't inspiring to me anymore, so we're looking for inspiration elsewhere. I have a couple of old Life magazines, and I took this picture out of an article from a magazine from July of 1944. This article was talking about the stylistic trend of peasant clothes. If you have seen the movie version of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical State Fair, the outfits that the main character wears, those are peasant clothes. They're beautiful, simple, gathered necklines, usually gathered around the sleeve, and then a skirt that's a little bit wider. They're really pretty, and that was like a big trend during that time. I was super nervous about the paper when I cut this picture out, so I went ahead and backed it on black cardstock. My idea for today's spread is to add some dimension to this picture and really make this shine. We, of course, will be thinking of a story for this girl. Now, she's got a look in her eyes like, I know something you don't know. What is it that she knows? Does she know about the ghost lurking in the window behind her? Oh, there's not one there, but we could add one. Yeah, we'll have to think about that as we work. As I said, I'm going to be adding some dimension, so I think I'm just going to keep her out of the book for right now while we add some things to her. My first thought was to create some volume in the shape of her skirt to make that really pop from the page. I also have these little white flowers that we could use instead of the leaves here. We could glue down some white flowers around her. Let's start with the skirt. And I'm going to go raid my fabric stash and see if I've got anything that will work for what I've got in mind. I would prefer to use black tulle, but I don't have any regular black tulle. I have this black lace that's really pretty. I have another type of black lace. If I can get a hold of an end of it, I can show you. So it looks like this. It's a little bit thicker pattern. And then I do have this, which is tulle, but it's got those silver sparklies on it. I still kind of feel like that's my best option. I think my best way to go would be to cut a long strip. I want to keep the hemming that's already on the bottom of this piece here. I want to cut a long strip in the correct length and then gather it. That could take some time. Let me do this. I'll do this off camera. I know that you guys like to see everything that I do, but it's just going to take too much maneuvering and involving the sewing machine stuff probably, so the camera's not going to work with me here. So I will come back when this skirt is ready to go. Okay, the little tulle skirt is made. It is not attached. I think we're going to need our friend Mr. Glue Gun because yeah. This is one of those things that sounds great in my mind, and I think I can do it, but I don't know if it's really going to work. All right, at least we've got it held in place there, and then we're just going to do a bit more gluing in a couple of strategic places to get it to stay like I want it to. She needs a belt. We could take a piece of ribbon and glue it down, or a little piece of lace. That wouldn't work, but look how gorgeous this lace is. That's not a belt, but still really cute. Actually, I wouldn't consider that as an option. Sometimes it's the things that you think won't work that actually do. So I was thinking something more along the lines of this piece here. That's cute. Is it cuter than this? I like this better. Am I nuts? We're doing this. We're doing this. Do you know what this is reminding me of? There is a movie from 1980 called The Watcher in the Woods. It was an adaptation of a book called A Watcher in the Woods. And I used to watch that and get so terrified. There was this family that moves into this old house, and this old lady's there. I can't remember if they're renting from her or why she's there. Her daughter went missing in the woods years and years ago, and the teenage girl who comes to live there investigates and learns what really happened, and there are crazy things that have to be done in order to bring this daughter back. I think her name was Karen, if I remember right. But don't worry, she wasn't a Karen. She was just named Karen. And anyway, the teenage girl and her friends have to try to get Karen back from wherever she's been. I'm trying to look on Amazon Prime to see if they have it there, because when I looked it up, it was suggested as the place that you could go to stream it. I think it was a Disney adaptation, so it would make sense that it would be on Disney Plus rather, but there's a lot of things that Disney made that they don't have on their streaming service, like 5 Mile Creek, which is a wonderful TV series that they did that I just love. Like, I grew up watching that show, and it's not on there. No, Amazon Prime has the remake, but it was not as good. Yeah, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the original one. Okay, so we're going to now work on adding some of those white flowers. I took a couple of minutes to just look in a couple of streaming services, and I found the movie on YouTube. It's free with ads. I don't know if the quality is going to be any good. I'll start it in a minute. Usually I have something going while I am filming whatever parts I don't need to talk during. Alright, that should be enough flowers for each one of these, though. There's like one that's spread out like this, and then there's a smaller one that could go inside. We will start playing with these a little bit. It's going to be a lot of hot glue. Keep your fingers crossed that I don't burn my fingers. All right, what do we think about this girl? I'm kind of excited. We've got a few little hot glue strings here and there that I need to pick off, but otherwise I think she is ready to go into the journal. So we need to work on a background for this page, and I'm wishing I had like something that looked like newspaper print. For some reason that's calling to me. I might I might have something. This is the magazine that the picture came out of. You can see July 17th, 1944, cost 10 cents. A yearly subscription costs $4.50. Can you believe it? You can't even get one magazine for that nowadays. Those that are even still around. I wonder if I can find something here that I could use as a background. Like, I just want text. I just want type. A lot of this is about the war. Okay, this page is a possibility. It is talking about those Russians. So sorry if that's offensive to you. I didn't write it. But we have a lot of text here. I think this would be a good option for us to craft some backgrounds with. Can't read my, no, he can't read my poker face. Can't read my, no, you can't read my poker face. Our girl is decorated up with her cute skirt and flowers, and she's on the background. We've got this background. I'm not sure what else we're going to put on this spread. Since I'm now watching The Watcher in the Woods, and by the way, it is actually a decent quality video. If you're interested in seeing the movie, I highly recommend it. I decided that the background for the other page is going to be these aspen trees. I have a very soft spot for aspen trees because they grow a ton where I live. I have one in my yard. I just did a family photo shoot for a friend of mine in aspen trees. So we are going to just cut this so that it's slightly smaller than the newsprint. Maybe we need to go a little bit further in like that, because we still want to see some of the text here, but we're going to be looking at the forest. Before I glue this down, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and we're going to cut a slot here. I'm not sure exactly what for at this point, but I love to have someone peeking through the trees, like something there. So that means we also need to figure out what that's going to be before we glue it down. Otherwise, it's going to be a monstrosity to work with. Now, in The Watcher in the Woods, there's a lot of paranormal activity. So it would make sense for what's peeking behind the trees to be some kind of spirit, ghost, etc. Do I have such a thing? I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if this is going to represent our spirit. Maybe the reason she's like smirking is because she's like, you think I'm just a girl standing in the trees. You don't realize I'm a ghost. I'm about to get you. Dang. I'm trying to figure out this story. It's a pain in the butt. So I think I'm going to start with going through some paper dolls. Like Tim Holtz paper dolls things. Is there any that look like they might be slightly leaning around a tree? Oh gosh, how creepy would this be if you saw this in the forest? A girl in a little dress holding a bunny. Hello! This lady here, she could be kind of sticking her head out. There is also the possibility that I could just glue something on top of the trees and not necessarily have someone peeking their head out at all. I remembered I had this bride, but she looks like she's sitting on something. That wouldn't really work for this, because then she'd be like, hey. So far, this is our best contender, but I have some other ones in my ephemera binder, so I'm going to go take a peek through that, and then I will come back to you. To quote the great Captain Jack Sparrow, we have our heading. I know where we're going with this page now. It occurred to me, I was looking through the other paper dolls I have, and none of them quite worked as nicely as this lady. I did extend the slit here with the X-Acto knife, so she's almost to the ground. We're going to just tuck her slightly behind this tree. She is in the woods because she has been haunting the woods for years. Now, I have departed from the movie storyline here, so if you're thinking this is what happens in the movie I've been talking about, it's not. This lady has been haunting the woods for years, and years and years and years. In the summer of 1944, a young girl comes along and lives in the house near the edge of the woods. This woman has been waiting for a body to possess. The whole time she has been haunting those woods. She wants to exact her revenge on someone who has wronged her. She doesn't realize that so much time has passed that that person has long since died. The person that she wants to exact revenge on was someone who abused her and her family to the point where they were driven out of society. And they were made to live in squalor for the rest of their lives. So she sees this beautiful young girl living in this beautiful house near the edge of the woods, and she thinks, aha, I'm going to take possession of her body and exact my revenge. Again, not realizing that the person who tortured her and her family was long gone. So when we see her here, this is the body of the young girl, but the knowing look, like I know something you don't know, from the eyes, it's her. She's fully taken possession, and she's ready to go out and get her revenge. These pages are ready to be glued into the book. I may add some more things here and there, but we're going to glue them in first. What do we think? I still feel like there's too much empty space here. Plus, it's talking about like communism and czarist dictatorships. I don't want this. I want this covered up. Okay, this monstrosity was too difficult to move, so I just cut out a little piece of black paper, did some collaging with washi. This has some ledger on it, some old documents. We've got some diagonal stripes. This is a dictionary entry for the words freak and freakish. I thought it could apply here to the situation. And we have the word spellbound. So we're just going to glue that in place here. I don't know if I really need to add something here or if I'm just overthinking things. I do want to take a second to like re-glue this side of the paper, and we'll ponder it. Here's what I'm thinking. If I add some more of that washi here, then I'll feel like I have an incomplete triangle. However, I still feel like this is too much space up here. I don't know what to do. Someone tell me what to do. We're going to try something with these spiderweb stickers. It may turn out to be a terrible idea, but let's give it a shot. Okay, you may or may not be able to see these. We've got a corner web here, we've got a corner web down here, and then we've got kind of a big open V-shape web here. For some reason, I think that helps a lot, even though I know it's hard to see on the camera. I feel like we're done. Yeah, we just have 2 more days of this. Holy cow. I have to be honest, this has not gone the way that I expected it to, but also it's gone so much better in a lot of ways, including today's spread. It's been really fun to work on, and yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. So I'm going to sign out now and wish you all a wonderful, magical, and spooky day. Happy crafting. Adios.